Is it working? It might be working. It's taking me about 10 minutes to get set up here. This is ridiculous. Not only do I have no music, no production value, I got no technical support. Jeff, what sort of shambles organization are you running? God damn it, man. For what it's worth, I am the least tech capable people you'll ever met. Now, there is a huge, huge chance that this show cuts out and you don't watch shit. So bank on getting nothing today, and we good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday night. The B-League Pick'ems on behalf of Going for Two Live, an underdog prop show every Friday night where we get to catch up, go over a few different bits and pieces, and go from there. If it's the first time you're tuning in, could be your last time with this piss poor production value. I take the morning games, I find a game that I like, I pick a few props from underdog on it, and a couple other alternates, go through the afternoon and a prior time between Sunday and Monday night. And we go from there. Pretty easy, right? A couple of these games that I like this week, very easy in the morning. Obviously, Detroit-Dallas should be a fun one. Obviously, Detroit, they can't stop water going through a sieve. They're useless. Cleveland and Baltimore is interesting. A couple good plays in there I like this week. Bits and pieces I don't mind. But the Atlanta-Cincinnati game caught my attention because Cincinnati all over the place, and Atlanta have been pushing people. What are they, 6-0 against the spread as well, right? Atlanta. So they've been pushing people, keeping everyone honest. They'll at least make a game out of it, which is a big, big deal. That's what we want to see. So for the morning games, that's what I went with. Before I go on any further and give you any more fun information, just a couple bits of house cleaning. Underdog.com, promo code GF2, 100% matching deposit up to $100. Almost gave away the other company's promo. Dynasty Rewind shout out. But GF2, 100% matching deposit up to $100. Very easy. You can also go to Discord, find us at goingfor2.com, get every bit of information that you need. Very good start, sits, trade advice, dynasty advice, bets, prop bets. Find your analyst. Find the TFS doc. Go find Dr. Jim. Ask him about issues with players' health and all whatnot. Find Getty. Ask him about betting. That's an even better one. DFS. Go grab Gerson and Tim. Speaking of DFS, catch us up tonight. 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11:30. I don't know. These guys are on a different time every week. Jeff, Tim, and Gerson, get your DFS plays in. Cash games, GPPs. Good value on the slate this week. Very good. So before I get going again, I'm going to go with Atlanta, Cleveland. That's what I'm going to Atlanta, not Cleveland. Atlanta and Cincinnati, Cleveland. I don't want to go do that. He's here. Finally, I got here. I even changed. See this little bit down here? Where is it? I changed it to a bubble. Look at that. Technical Dan. Look at that. Hashtag Technical Dan. We're getting fancy on here. So that's what we went with, Yeti. Thanks very much for joining me. Lots of hashtag fun. So I'm going to go with Atlanta, Cincinnati. This should be an interesting game. Again, I think they'll keep them honest. They'll keep them in. I think Atlanta will push them till the end. I do believe Cincinnati will win. I don't think it'll matter. For the higher and lower props this week between Atlanta and Cincinnati, I am going to go with Marcus Mariota, again, lower. Now, when these props came out, obviously I checked these at the start of the week. It's Friday and there's alternates. So Marcus Mariota at the start of the week had 193 passing yards to his name. That's now disappeared because no one wants a piece of it. Not going to throw it. He's not going to do it. He's no good. So since then, they've removed it, and they've given him total yards only. So they've given him total yards of 226.5. I still believe he's going lower than that. I really don't care if you disagree. Fine. Disagree. Doesn't matter. Give me a reason why, or a decent reason why. Marcus Mariota hasn't been over 150 passing yards in the last 3 weeks. We need to know that. That's important because he hasn't been rushed for shit either. So we got to know this too. So even with Kyle Pitts returning, he hasn't really done too much. The Bengals do give up about 225 passing yards a game. Oh, look at that. 226.5 they've given him for total yards. Hoping he can rush his way to it. Look, total yards the last 3 weeks, back to back. 180, 208, and 142. He's not even getting close. He's not getting close to 226.5. He's nowhere near it. And because Cincinnati have allowed some games to go against him, or they've been less competitive than what you think, what, Atlanta's going to do it all of a sudden? Get out of here. No. It's not going to happen. So Marcus Mariota lower than 226.5. That's what we're going with to start with Atlanta versus Cincy. I do like Jamar Chase higher than 84.5 receiving yards. How could you not? Look, he's had a few up and down games to start this season, and I don't think that's indicative of him. I think that's just how the Bengals were rolling, as it were. But I feel like that rebound, it was apparent last week. 130 yards, 2 tutties against the Saints. Double-digit targets back-to-back weeks. It's an encouraging sign for that floor to be set. And that floor for him is relatively high, and you can bank on that 84.5 going over. I really like that coming through. The third pick I have for the morning slate with Atlanta and Cincinnati. Look, I think it's an easy one. Joe Burrow higher than 285.5. I don't think we're coming up with much rocket science with this one, to be honest with you. Falcons coughing up the most pass yards per game at 291. And all that, although that's cutting it fine with what Burrow's line is, it seems like he steadied the ship. That was rocking it. Look, last 2 games over 280. He's past 3. It's happening. So form's on his side, the right opponent's in front of him. I really think that 285.5 for Burrow this week it's there for the taking, I think. Alternate morning picks, got a couple that I like. Look, it's weird when you're coming up with prop bets because you kind of feel a little guilty going back to the well on players that you previously bet on, but they win, right? So you don't want to keep betting on this. It's almost like you're cheating on yourself with a good bet. I can't bet on him again because he might win. But that's the dumbest thing that you could say. I'm going back to the well of David Njoku. This must be like the 5th week straight I've done this. David Njoku this week is the most ridiculous value of anyone, and I hope to dear God that the guys talk about him on the DFS show tonight. He's got a decent enough matchup, but this guy is absolutely smashing. 3rd on the team for targets, which wouldn't mean so much, except the guy ahead of him is Donovan Peoples-Jones by 1. So really, we could call it even. He's tied for 2nd, give or take? Unless Peoples-Jones is tied for 3rd. Depends how negative and positive you are. We're not even going to go into that. It's a little bit too technical for me. But look, he hasn't been under 35.5 yards since week 2. 3 games over 70 in his last 4. Over 50 since then of the one in between. Ravens are competent versus the position, but let's not forget that Dan Bellinger had 35 and a touchdown against him last week. One, the Giants are shit. Dan Bellinger's not that good, and he still did it in a team that doesn't pass. All right, well, Brissett isn't really adverse to going to him. He's been going absolutely berserk the last month. So 36.5 receiving yards versus Baltimore. Yeah, I like that for it. One of the props that I saw this week, and I was kind of befuddled by it. And I get it, I know, look at the timing of it, Jamie. I just spoke about a Browns player. Wild, right? Look at this. This is Unison? No. Yeah, Unison. Look at that Unison. Look at that right there. Yeah, Jamie, Cleveland connoisseur. Started speaking about a Brown, David Njoku. Again, every week. This guy is just ridiculous this year. Unbelievable. Good for him. Good for the Browns. Imagine them. They come out of nowhere. They pay Austin Hooper, right? They pay Austin Hooper. Let's get rid of him. They should pay David Njoku instead. But we've done nothing with him. Screw it. Just pay him. Browns. Wild. There we go. Book it. So 1 catch for 37. That's what we're going for. Oh, easy. Easy. I think off the top of my head, 4 touchdowns this year to the tight end position. I could be wrong. But again, one of those is Dan Bellinger, and he's 5 games into his NFL career. So we got that working for us, Mr. Browns fan. Cleveland connoisseur. There we go. So we like that. The last one for the morning that I had, and I get it. It's a Cooper Rush thing. So I understand why his numbers might be down, but his numbers have been down all year. Dalton Schultz, with the returning Dak Prescott, has been given a line of 29.5 receiving yards. Obviously, look, they got Detroit this week. Detroit are just trash, right? Love watching Detroit play. They're fun. There's always points. Something's always going on. So I don't mind watching Detroit because even with bad receivers, they're good. Like something's happening. So I respect that, especially with the Giants. When you trot out like Marcus Johnson, you respect every other receiver that you can watch play, right? So I'm down with Detroit. It's just, they're not very good at stopping people from scoring on them, which seems to be part and parcel with the other part of the game. Scoring is easy, apparently. Defending is not. Dalton Schultz has been given 29.5 receiving yards against Detroit. The guy's been hurt. He's had 18 total yards in 3 weeks. It's absolute shambles. Like, I understand that 29.5, it's bait, right? They want you to go higher on him because Dak is coming back. If Cooper Rush is playing this week, do they give him a line of 29.5? No, they give him nothing. So it's basically Dak's playing, load him up. I get it. The guy's done nothing all year. He's done, and I get it, PCL injury and all that sort of, maybe he's working his way back in. I don't trust him for that. 29.5, it seems low for a lot of people to go, yeah, we'll go up. I don't see it happening. So I'm off Dalton Schultz this week, lower 29.5 receiving yards, which is quite interesting, I believe. We're going to head over into our afternoon games. Thank you for joining me again. Discord, Discord, go over there.com, all that sort of jazz. Goingfor2.com, join up, get all the information you need. You can find people like Jamie that have all the information on betting and props that you can need. Go find Yeti, tag him. He's got his own channel. Yeti has his own channel. Ask him about bets. You just throw money away for you to learn and make money from. It's insane. Go there. Commute. Go find them. That's what you want to be doing. Also, find them on the Sunday morning show for your starts and sits. Saturday Night Dynasty program as well. Get around them. What's some IDP program? We got an IDP show. You should watch that. IDP's amazing. You don't it's like a full way of playing. You don't half drive a car. That's what it is without IDP. You're half driving a car. Drive the whole thing. Afternoon picks. Look, there's a few interesting games in the afternoon. Now, I should say, prior to yesterday's trade of Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco did have props. They've all disappeared. George Kittle was at 46.5 against Kansas. All about that. My God, gone. Deebo Samuel props, gone. Garoppolo props, gone. Done. None of them. They just disappear like they never existed. I did them for another show earlier in the week. They can't even bet them in now. It's wild. Houston versus Las Vegas at 46. It's an interesting game. They kind of come out of nowhere. Houston, they have this ability to be absolute garbage or put up big numbers. It's the wildest thing. Kansas San Fran's at 49, but we can't bet on them. So we're going to look at Seattle and the Chargers, who were a part of the sinking ship last week in prime time, otherwise known as the Denver Broncos. So I had a look at a few of these props. There's a couple that I like, a couple that I'm not overly keen on. I think the easy one to look, the Chargers have one of the worst rush defenses again. Look, it's sunrise, sunset. It's another new year. Chargers can't stop the run. We're going to bring in Khalil Mack. He's going to stop it for us. No. We're going to bring in all these offbeat Rams like linebackers. They're going to help us. No. Terrible. So, poor Chargers. No matter what they do. Screw it. We'll just go on 4th and down again. Doesn't matter. How's that help us stop the run? Doesn't matter. We just go on for a 4th. They won't run on us. They can't run on us. We don't have the ball. We don't give them the ball back. It doesn't matter. Ken Walker. Higher than 69.5 rush yards. We've gone higher. Don't like going higher on rush yards. It's not really something I feel overly comfortable with. I find that running backs generally find an easier way to screw up. Unless you're Derrick Henry this week against the Colts. Whatever his numbers are, higher. I think he averages 111 a game against the Colts on the ground. Last 6 matchups. Something stupid. Just kills them. Ken Walker, higher. Look, again, the Chargers' worst rush defense in the NFL, so it's yards, yards, yards. Walker is the spark that this offense craves. He is eating this week. However, Geno Smith lower than 34.5 pass attempts. I think that ties in. They're going to lean on Walker a lot. So 34.5 pass attempts for Geno Smith. We're going lower on that. Look, he's been on the edge of going this mark a few times recently. Is that 31, 30, give or take. but he hasn't really gone over that quota. So 34.5, 35. He hasn't really done that. He's only done it once this year, and that's where he had 44 pass attempts versus Atlanta in week 3. So they've given him a high enough quota. They're thinking, okay, he might be chasing the Chargers, all that sort of stuff. Look, I think Walker being there now fit and healthy fits into whatever the hell Pete Carroll's trying to do, and that's look, they give it down by 30, and they're still going to run the ball. So I think that's going to work for them. I don't, however, like Austin Ekeler this week. He's going lower than 60.5 rush yards. He's had one game go over that quota. It was 2 weeks ago where he went for 170 yards. 4 out of the 6 games, he's had less than 40 yards on the ground. For some reason, they keep pumping him up. I believe last week he had the week before. He had 170, and the week before he had 60. So he's at 60.5. So to say he's been over it once, okay, he might have had half a yard here or there, like not tallied up. But they keep putting him at these ridiculously high quotas for rush yards, and yet here he is getting 35, 36, 37, 3-4 times this year. It's not really happening for him on the ground. Look, they're going to target the shit out of him. 9 targets on average this year. He's only 1 target behind their leading receiver this year. That's Mike Williams with 50. Ekeler has 49. I know that has a lot to do with no Keenan Allen. I get that. That's all hunky-dory. But to think that this guy's going to come out of nowhere and just start punching like rush yards when that hasn't been what he's been doing this year is kind of wild. That we saw it like against Denver the other night. He was at 62.5. It's come down like 1.5 points. And he didn't get near it then. Falcons going to cover the spread. Put your house on it. I don't know. Why not? How about them 5-1 Giants? Listen, again, if anybody caught the show on Monday night, they saw my disgust with Doug Pederson being, he's going to be coach of the year. They've won 2 games. He hasn't really turned it around. The Giants have beaten last year's win tally 2 weeks ago. Brian Daboll, not even, it's all right. They're just doing what they tell him to do. Yeah, because he's a fucking coach. That's what they're fucking meant to do. Coach. Paid all this money to fucking coach. And he's doing well. Nah, Doug Pederson. That was Monday, though. I don't want to talk about that. This one gets it. Morning, Gladys. Hope you have an enjoyable breakfast out there in Mountain Time. Whatever the time it is out there. Whatever time it is out there. So those are the 3 that I've got going on for the afternoon. Again, Walker higher than 69.5. Geno Smith lower than 34.5 pass attempts. Ekeler lower than 60.5 rush yards. I feel pretty confident about those 3. A couple afternoon game picks that I like. Again, it's like the David Njoku thing. I hate going back to the same player to say, I don't want to go back to this guy because he might win again. Again, it's that sort of like mindset. Well, I keep winning on it. Well, if I keep picking him, he's going to keep winning. And I might keep making money. And then I might keep making money. And I might keep making money. But I feel bad about it because I keep picking the same horse. It's like seeing a horse go undefeated and you keep backing that horse to win. Breece Hall, higher than 16 rush attempts at Denver, I feel pretty confident about. Look, the yards for Hall might be stickier to chase because Denver on the ground, they're not bad. But we can respect Denver's ground game. Very good secondary. They're decent all around. But that doesn't mean that the staff won't run Hall into a wall. The last 3 weeks, his attempt to come up, 16, 18, 20. Now, listen, I do math with my child. She's 6. I do math homework with her. And they call these things called number patterns. It's wild. And so he went 16 3 weeks ago, then 18 2 weeks ago, and then 20 2 weeks ago. So by a kindergarten's math, that means this week he should have 22 rush attempts. So look at 20. Look, I'm doing kindergarten math. We're going up by 2, 16, 18, 20, 22. Look, I'm getting smarter. And so are you. We're all getting a little bit better this week. How about them apples? No, I gave you 5 minutes of Browns talk. No, David Njoku's going to pump. He's going to pump. Determine what pumping looks like in your own mind. He's going to do that. 5-1 Giants, David Njoku. We're having a good evening. The other one for the afternoon that I kind of like, and I hate. It's like chasing touchdowns. I hate chasing touchdowns because you never know. Davis Mills higher than half an intercept versus the Raiders. 4 intercepts in his last 3 games. He's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance. Half an intercept. He might have 1. 4 in his last 3, Davis Mills. My God. makes you think what's been going on down there. Look, again, they're a hard team to gauge. The pass attempts have been up for him week after week after. I think last week was like a bit of a fall from grace on the last time he played. But prior to that was like 32, 33, 34 pass attempts, give or take. So he's good for it. He's good for chucking it. But, Raiders, see what happens. They need to start winning some. Game picks for the evening or prime time games. Monday night's game is Chicago and New England, and I'd be absolutely damned if I have a look at that game. I'll deal with that on Monday night with Gladys, the Doc, and Kyle. The 2-point conversion every Monday night, 7 p.m. We take care of that, injuries, all that sort of stuff. Come find us. Nice, easy stuff. I'll have a look at that one. I can't believe it. We've been, just quietly, the four of us have been dreading Chicago, New England for about a month, which is hard because we've had like Denver already, I think, twice. We've had Denver twice, I think, already, and now we're looking at like a Chicago, New England game, which is like, God damn. We get some of the stinkers. We get some absolute stinkers, to be honest with you. Monday night, these games are meant to be good. We just turn up, we're like, what are we going to do here? But to be fair, we make chicken salad out of chicken shit, so it's pretty good. I'm going to look at Sunday night's game, Pittsburgh and Miami. I like this game. I actually kind of like this game. I feel pretty good at Kenny Pickett. I feel pretty good about him. I think he looks all right when his brain isn't scrambled. So, speaking of brain scrambled, Tua's back. Very good, Tua. Welcome back. Flying Hawaiian, huh? Can't call him that. They got Mariota. He doesn't even fly anymore. It's like 3 rush yards a game. Not even flying. He's just Hawaiian. Not even flying anymore. Base 3 picks for your primetime game Sunday night. Jalen Waddle higher than 56.5 receiving yards. Waddle is back! My God. 129 a week ago with, who did he have? Teddy Bridgewater and Luke Skywalker. He's going all right. There's a 50% of his games this year are well over 100 yards. He's only gone under 56.5 twice this year. And I feel like that was that transition period between Bridgewater and whatever that kid's name was. I don't even know what his name is. I don't even care. As soon as they said, it's like a third quarterback, I check out. Who's in? It's a third quarterback. Don't care. I'm not watching. I'm out. I don't need to watch it. So Jalen Waddle higher than 56.5 receiving yards. I like it. He's going to go over. They're going to get back into form. It's going to happen. Raheem Mostert, though, lower than 63.5 rush yards. I found this interesting. Look, I feel like the Steelers' run defense doesn't get enough credit. They're decent. They're not as dominant as they have been. Obviously, no Watt and all that sort of jazz, but they're not as bad as we think they are. About 100 yards a game to the running back. But Mostert is the opposite of what we think. We think, obviously, this high-flying Miami team with Hill and Tua and Waddle and Gesicki and all that sort of stuff. Some Trent Sherfield love, we'll throw it out there. But look, if the trio of Tua and Tyreek, look, when they struggle, he does well. Put it that way. So you bring Tua back in, Tyreek back in, Waddle back in. His attempts drop significantly. He goes for like 18 attempts a game with like Bridgewater and Skywalker or Sky, whatever his name is, Luke something, I don't know. To like 10 to 11 touches a game, and that's not really going to help you get to the 63 and up. Look, one of the fastest running backs in the league, so I understand and appreciate that. All it takes is one to snap one out. I get it. But when Tua's in there with Tyreek and Waddle, his usage drops way too much. And it's not something that I really want to dig in with him. So I'm going to stay away from him on that one. Kenny Pickett, though, I'm going to go higher than 223.5 pass yards. Look, I'm not sure he has much of a choice but to go through the air. Najee Harris has just been brutal. Since it's their bye week, I want my 3 mins on the Vikings. The Vikings are on a bye? I couldn't tell. They're like the worst 5-1 team in the NFL. The second worst 5-1 team in the NFL. Worse than the Giants. If you don't know what I'm talking about, rewatch Monday's show. Didn't know they were on the bye. Good for them. Leaders of the North. Either way. Anyway, Kenny Pickett, look, we have only a small sample of that, right? So it's one game, he had over 300 passing yards. That was against Buffalo. But Buffalo haven't allowed that to anyone this year except Kenny Pickett. And that's what I'm hanging my hat on. What do you have, like 50 yards against the Bucs before he knocked himself out? That's not going to do it either. But look, prior to that, look, no one had over 200 passing yards against Buffalo. This kid's thrown up 320, 325, give or take. So we know that he can do it when he has the players around him. Look, you can't argue with, like, the Steelers receivers from Najee Harris all the way up to Pat Frymouth. It's an incredibly talented young group of guys that he has at his disposal. If they're open and they're free, great. He's also shown the tendency to chuck it up to whether to Pickett or Claypool or whoever. He can do it. So Miami secondary, they can get had. I like the Xavier Howard, all those sorts of guys. They're great. He could get them. 223 and a half? I feel like that's right about that comfort zone for where he might be as a passer when the year's set it down, when it settles. He might be around that 250 mark at best. But 223? And listen, if Miami take that lead, they ain't running on Harris either. And Harris ain't doing nothing either. What's he going to get you? 30? He's always had worse rushing stats than Austin Ekeler this year. No one's really looked into that too much, but Harris has struggled this year completely. So brutal. So those are my picks. Those are my picks for underdog props. Again, promo code GF2, 100% matching deposit up to $100. That's what we want. We like them apples. Find us on Discord, goingfor2.com. Get us over there. Get everything you need to know about fantasy football. The Bleep You section is something that I find great solace in every week. And you can find all your analysts on all our shows. Again, you can stick around after this one before I recap whatever I've gone over today. I'm going to give you what I said one more time. Just I've got weird issues that I have to just say it one more time. I can't leave until I do. That's beside the point. Go find your analysts on our Discord. Ask them questions. Bother them. Tune into their shows. Stick around tonight. Obviously, we have our DFS show. Jeff, Tim, Gerson, they've been absolutely smashing lately. Killing it. I don't know why they don't get more exposure. It's like we don't pay for ads or something, Jeff. You got to look into that. Get us on Google or something. I don't know. Type in fantasy football and we're the first one that comes up. Why don't you pay for that, Jeff? Get us some more exposure. Get us some love. Something like that. Either way. Obviously, find us on YouTube, subscribe, hit the alerts, all that sort of stuff. Again, morning picks. One more time before I crack on, answer some questions as it would be. Marcus Mariota, lower. Again, I went with lower than 193.5 passing yards until they disappear because no one wanted a piece of it. Because he's not very good at passing the ball. Because he's trash. Not even a flying Hawaiian, just a Hawaiian. But they gave him total yards, 226.5. I'm still going lower because he's not that good. Jamar Chase higher than 84.5 receiving yards. He's back. Those targets are back. It's going to happen. Joe Burrow higher than 285.5 pass yards. I like Chase. I love Burrow this week. Couple alternates for the morning. Again, David Njoku higher than 36.5 receiving yards versus Baltimore. Thank you, Jamie. The yak is there. Baltimore love it. They love giving it away. It's like Halloween candy. They're just giving it away. Have some yak. You have some yak. Everyone yak. Love it. Joker's going to go bonkers this week. Schultz lower than 29.5 receiving yards because I didn't know he still existed. So we're going to go with that. Afternoon games. We like the Seattle Chargers matchup. I like it. They hit Kenny Walker. Young Kenny Walker. 69.5 rush yards. Love it. My son just fell asleep. Got the message. Very good. It's 9 o'clock. He held on. What a little fighter. Good for him. Kenny Walker, 69.5 rush yards. Love it. Going higher. Geno Smith lower than 34.5 pass attempts. I don't think he gets there. He'll go close. I don't see it happen. Austin Ekeler lower than 60.5 rush yards. Another week in a way with a high quota. Another week in a way that he won't reach it. Breece Hall higher than 16 rush attempts against Denver. Remember, because 16 plus 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Doesn't matter. Davis Mills higher than half an intercept. We're going like that against the Vegas Raiders. We like that too. Evening games. Jalen Waddle higher than 56.5 receiving yards. Tua is back. Well, let's get this show on the road. Get them rolling. Get them rolling again. We love it. Raheem Mostert. He's going to suffer because of it. 63.5 rush yards. Lower. And one more for the road. Kenny Pickett. Higher than 22.5. 223. 22.5. I can't see decimals. It's wild. 223.5 passing yards this week in that primetime game. I am all about that life. He needs to get you an intro song. No, he won't. You won't do it. Oh, man, I'll plug the shit out of everything. Monday night's 2-point conversion or the point conversion. I'm pretty sure it's one of those things. I think Kyle changed the name of it. Someone's going to have to confirm that. But I've been calling it the 2-point conversion for like a month now. Doesn't matter. Monday night, 7 o'clock. Gladys, the Doc, Kyle, and myself. Injury analysis plus underdog props. Looking after Chicago versus New England. God damn it. I can't even say that without like wanting to hate myself. Oh, it's another shit game. Under. Under. What's going to happen? Under. Or unless Bailey Zap's playing. Over. Either way, I don't mind any of that. Like a bit of that. It's okay. Yeah, I do need to get some music. And I swear to God, I was messing with like the graphics before. I didn't know which one to go with. It was like either this one, there's the other one. Screw it. Let's give both some love. It's the hot route. You gotta be careful how you say that, because that's said differently where I'm from. And it means a different thing too. There's one for you. You give Bo some love. See him on Fantasy Pros and his show with Scott. Those guys crush it. Bit of fun. DFS show. Lots of fun. Let's go back here. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. I don't know what you want me to say about the Vikings. I'll write you an intro song with graphics of you playing the drums and slamming all those picks. My drums are at the other place. And I don't even know whose drums they are. They're not even mine. I still don't know how they got there, and I don't know how to get rid of them. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Monday night show, you'll see a drum set. Drum kit? I don't even know what they are, so I didn't even know what to call them. It's wild. DFS show is on tonight. Make sure you check that out. IDP show Saturday. Dynasty show Saturday night. Start and sits. Apparently not with Gladys. Gladys, I've been saying it's your show for like 5 weeks. Jamie told me like 2 weeks ago. She's not on it anymore. Bullshit. Gladys is on it. It's Gladys' show. I don't care, Jamie. Ben? I don't care. It's Gladys' show. It's her start and sit show. That's all that matters. No, see, listen. Here's the thing. You give me music, and then I have to play. I'd rather just be mad at Jeff. You got to let me have this. It's for me. Right? One more time before I get out, thank you very much for joining me. YouTube, subscribes over here and alerts over there. Pretty sure the alert button's there. Doesn't matter. You catch me every Friday night, 8:30, live. Going for 2 live. Discord.com. Discord.com. Going for2.com. Find us over there. All your analyst channels. All the information you need. No, I don't care. She's on it. In your heart, that's fine. She's on it. I'm just going to say she's on it. She draws ratings. Our numbers go up when Gladys is on our show. Ours dip when James isn't on it. How about that? It's like correlation, right? Me and Kyle should be shitting ourselves. Either way, Sunday start and sits show. There's too many S's. I can't get through it. Find out all the information you need. I think Gerson's on that one as well, even if he isn't. I'm sure you'll find him. But you really want to find out that information for DFS plays prior to games starting. As well, as always, underdog.com. GF2 promo code 100% matching deposit up to $100. Come and waste your money with me. Lose some cash. Or just bet on David and Joku and just like make all the money back. That's all we got to do anymore. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you have a great weekend. Win some cash. Win some games in your dynasty leagues or redraft. Take care. Happy betting and good luck. Cheers.